or anything talking about like a what's in my bag. Like those things I would love to do stuff like that. And that's probably what I'm going to put out first, if anything. But vlogs is definitely something where I'm going to have to like kind of get more comfortable in front of the camera. And I feel like doing those like what's in my bag video first, or on a desk, or like what's my equipment, will definitely help me ease in a little bit more in front of the camera. And because you're literally just talking and looking into a camera, and it's like, hi, like no one's there, but you actually gotta like be very like, you gotta have that connection. And I've even watched people from like years back, like we were talking about YouTubers, where when they started, you could see how uncomfortable they were in front of the camera, like just by their tone and how unconfident they were with what they were saying. Yeah. Now they're like, oh, this is this, and like they have so much passion and like reassurance.
It's like a normal thing for them now.
Yeah, and it's like you gotta build to that point. It's like I feel like a lot of people can already tell I'm a huge perfectionist. It's like, if it's not perfect, I'm not dropping it.
Yeah, true.
And I actually tried to record a what's in my bag video, and I looked at it and I'm like, this is a piece of shit. But I know there are YouTubers that dropped pieces of shit videos before and it blew up, and they've grown so much since that. They look back at that and they probably think that like, yo, this is shit. Yeah. I know people look back at their work and think like, yo, what was I thinking? Yeah. So it's just like those moments you just gotta like not think about it too hard.
Yeah, but then again, like going back to what we talked about at the beginning of this episode, you gotta get the ball rolling. You gotta just put it out in the universe for it to actually like formulate and grow into something. You gotta just put something out there. Of course. Because if you don't, it's just it can't grow if it doesn't, if you don't start somewhere. Put some into like you can't build a house if you don't put the foundation there. Something has to be there. And the foundation looks shitty at first. Like, no one wants to live in the foundation.
You can't tell what the house is going to look like off the foundation, man. Yeah. You can't.
It's an empty lot, a whole bunch of dirt everywhere. Yeah. Why would you want to live there? But then, like, little by little, like, you get better, brick by brick.
And now everyone wants to live there.
Whatever. Now, now it's popping. Now you get to sell for whatever. Like, you know, all the like, metaphors and all that.
But that's true, man. This podcast is really dope. It's actually,
I appreciate that.
It has even, like, just showed me little things of, like, yo, just do it. Motivational things. Even just hearing just this conversation, the questions you ask, I'm like, man, why don't I do this? You know, like it's,
you could,
and
definitely.
you could do
anything. And you listen, and you know people personally. You know, I bet you know way more people in the industry than I do. So that's a huge advantage right there. Just like knowing a guy or knowing people who are doing like great things. Like me personally, like it's not that I focus on doing like famous people. I've been very blessed to have interviews so far with like people who have like have been popping off in the industry. I've been very blessed with that, but it's not necessarily like I have to do like a crazy popping famous person. No, like if you're like just on your shit, like you have a dope idea or a dope business and you're just going at it 110%.
Why not work with
you
them?
Need and you need a voice, someone to like broadcast or advertise it right here.
Like, this is my first podcast, so this is.
I'm actually surprised about that. Have you never been like approached by anybody to do interviews, whether a podcast or anything formal?
I've had several people actually email me, just being a part of like, I guess they have like a media or like a little magazine going on. Yeah. And they've asked me questions, but I feel like I don't want to answer a lot of this stuff over email. Like I love being like
sporadic in a moment. Like you gotta think about your questions real quick, then like go.
It's more so like I want people to hear my voice when I say this stuff. I want people to really hear how I'm saying it. And I feel like I'm a person that's very like, I rather hear someone say something than read it. Like, oh, I did this, or hearing about what they did. I want to hear it. Like, that's why I also listen to podcasts, because it's motivational. At the end of the day, if I read something, cool. I love reading. Like, I read books, but at the end of the day, it comes off differently when you speak about something. And that's why, like, it's just crazy that this is my first podcast, and I hope many more come.
Definitely.
I actually love doing this.
Yeah, listen, I want like all the people I've interviewed, like they could come back as guests. Like I'm gonna start doing like a whole bunch, like a big group thing. Yeah. So we can have like you, Mike Loop. I just did an interview with him very recently.
That's my dude.
Yeah, I know you're very close to him too. We could probably set something up with Steve, because I had no idea they knew Steve, but like it's a small world.
Oh man, honestly, I feel like me and Steve can definitely have. I've actually had a conversation with him, like a mini conversation at like an event. Yeah. And me and him were like, yo, we need to work. Like, we want to do like
it's crazy how like you two know each other, but then we just met like today, actually. Like, for those who don't know, like I had never met you before.
People
like,
probably may not even believe that, because we're having like a cool ass conversation.
It was just like that's why I love this, because it's people who I just meet and we could get into like very like not like have personal stuff, business stuff, and like everything. We can kind of like be very transparent.
Yeah,
and it's dope because that formulates a good like business and personal relationship. Hopefully in the future.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Definitely. Yeah, but if I didn't, they know Steve. Like I'm not. Well, I'm surprised, but I'm also not surprised because I bet
Steve's popping, man.
Birds of the same feather flock together. Like you work with Chicla, he worked with Chicla. You do crazy. He does videos, you do photos. Like it's just everyone kind of like everyone's like in the same circle type of thing, which is
just
crazy.
Know whenever I go through that guy's video or he drops a video, I do not know what to expect. That man creates some crazy transitions.
He just did something with Prince Royce.
Yeah,
which is crazy. Like
if you see where he began, deserves it. He also works with Danny Lee a lot. Danny Lee's a dope artist. I'm actually glad he's working with her because she actually blew up over the year as an artist and. Hopefully he works with her more. I think he creates dope content for her. Definitely. She needs to use him a lot more. Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah, he's cool. Yeah, I think like the episode we had where I sat down and interviewed with him at Penthouse. It was such a cool. It was such a great conversation because he had shared with me that, because like you always said you were always like from the get go you were very like an artistic kid, artistic person. It was like for him it was like kind of like the opposite. Like he was going into like the finance world because that's what his family was kind of into, and like he thought he was gonna be this big Wall Street guy. But then after he graduated, he made a switch and said, you know what, let me go into like videos. Like that's my actual passion, and now he's like doing super great with that.
And he's so creative. It's like you wouldn't believe that.
Yeah, because like I was thinking, because I asked him, I was like, oh, like were you always like this creative type of person? He was like, no, like honestly, I just kind of like sporadic and out of nowhere. And I was like, you're lying to me. I can't believe that. Because if you see like his work,
it's hidden talent.
It's all like bright colors, like crazy, like editing, like everything is just solid, like just super solid work. And I give him a lot of credit for that. And like I can understand why the Danny Lee's hit him up. I can understand why the Chicla's hit him up. I can understand why the Prince Royce's hit him up.
No one's doing something like that.
He did a video. He did like a little mini video with Fabio Foreign when he was at Penthouse. Like even that was dope. Like it was like something a little simple. Like when you like. In Steve's like work, like it's a simple type of thing, but it still came out crazy. So shouts to Steve, man. He's crazy. And like again, thank you.
We gotta do a podcast, man. Steve, if you're listening to this.
Honestly, I'm about to start doing that. I'm about to start like, doing like group podcasts with like it could be me, you, and Mike, or me, you, and like I have this other guy named Ja. Like he does like a whole bunch of cool like backstage studio like concert types of photography, and he was on stage at a Yams Day recently, and he did like a whole bunch of like pictures of like cool pictures of Rocky, Ferg, 2 Chainz, everyone. Tyler Creator, like it was crazy. So yeah, so I'll definitely everyone's schedules is all sporadic and busy because everyone's out here chasing the bag and all that. But yeah, we go make it happen whatever time. There's always
time to make it happen, man.
That'll definitely be like a really good conversation. So we should definitely get that popping.
I feel like if there's other creatives in the table too, I feel like it can spark like a lot of even more deeper conversations because I feel like I have such amazing conversations one-on-one with all my friends that are creatives. Yeah. Like we really get into some deep stuff that I feel like a lot of people don't even look at as artists. Like just like in the beginning I mentioned like the mental stuff behind it. And it's like they can relate to you and it's like I know other people can relate to this stuff, how they're dealing with, the struggles of, chasing your dreams, man. And I have friends currently that are like in the 9-to-5, like, place where they're stuck and they're trying to actually follow their dreams. Sorry, I'm like trying to take.
No, you don't worry about it. Yeah, you're fine. Yeah.
But yeah, like just chasing their dreams on top of the 9-to-5. It's so hard because it's like, when do I drop the 9-to-5? When am I ready? When honestly. It's taking that risk, and I feel like a lot of people like just even talking on this podcast about this. It's like it helps people see like, yo, like I can get out of that if I just put in that consistent work. Yeah,
listen, like don't get it twisted. Like me, for example, personally, like I'm not gonna sit here and say that podcasting is like how I make all my money and like I'm super popping at this right now. And that's okay. Yeah, and that's absolutely fun. Listen, like I'm a regular person. Like I go to school full time. I also work Fridays and Saturdays. Like, but like that job, like that funds the podcast. All that money just goes into like what I'm doing. And then I just got the internship and all of that. So like, I'm a normal person just trying to do like, like just building step by step. And I'm not trying to, like make like a quick money scheme type of thing. Cause I feel like a lot of people get trapped into that. Oh, if it's not making money for me right now, I'm not going to do it. Like, nah, like everything takes time. No. But it's like an enjoyable process because like it's fun. Like all this stuff is fun, and like I know in the future I'll be financially like stable with this, and it'll be something that I can like leave as a legacy because like this stuff was never this is already like recorded for good or for bad and all that. And, like that's something I can live with.
That's another thing. With like the 9 to 5 thing and just being an artist, you gotta invest in yourself too. Like what you just said, it's like you take your hard work money from that 9 to 5, and you put it into that because you believe in yourself and you wanna, you know, excel in this. And that's another thing that a lot of people also don't talk too much about either. It's a whole like journey with that too. You gotta be very like, you know, you gotta be very cautious of what you invest your time into as well. Like not even just materialistic things, like people, time, like. What are you doing with your time? Yeah. How are you spending your time? There's people that work 9 to 5s, come home and they're tired, but it's like there's some people that work 9 to 5s, come home, cook, do their do their passion, like whatever it is, follow with that, and don't sleep. Like, you know, there's people that are like built to like do all of this all at once. Right. It's a whole crazy process. Because even like let's take like a day like today, for example. Like for me, woke up, went to the barbershop, did a train to Brooklyn. That's where my school's at. Had 2 classes. Came home, went to the gym. Mike hit me up saying, Martha's here. She wants to do like an interview if you're down. Boom. So went to the gym, came back. Like, so like the whole day just doing stuff. But for me, that's cool because like I could even though it's like tiring, I might wake up in the morning like, fuck, I'm exhausted. This and that, like bags under my eyes. Like at least I could say, hey, listen, like I got the absolute most out of my day. Yeah. Got a cut, went to class, went to the gym, did interview. That's productive all thing. That matters. Yeah, and if that's literally all that matters. Yeah, makes you feel good, man. And honestly, that's another thing I recommend and that I've been doing lately as well. The gym, man. That actually clears your head of any stress or anything you're dealing with. You leave it there. Yeah, no, I love going to the gym. I love it, man. Yeah. It's just living a healthy lifestyle. It's less for like looking good. It's more so just feeling good and waking up energetic. Yeah, I try to do it in the morning. I usually don't like going at night. I feel like I just wake up at night and then I'll just be up all night. Because you're more of like a morning person, right? Yeah, like if I go to the gym, I'm energetic after, and I'd rather be like that in the morning than at night. That makes sense. Yeah, that's good because like a lot of people are not morning people. I've had to train myself to kind of like be more of a morning person because like listen, because I could be up at like 1 o'clock in the morning doing podcasts or doing work, and that's cool. But like in the morning, I'll wake up and I'll feel like shit, and I'm like, damn, sort of like maybe rearrange my schedule a little bit to where like I get more stuff done like in the morning, then I get more time to sleep because you know I like sleeping personally. Like I like having like a nice 7 or 8 hours to sleep. Like I like that because I feel like good and all that. There's days, but everything's a balance. Yeah, there's days where I like even woke up at like 5 a.m. and just seeing that sunset and it's so quiet. Oh, yeah, everyone's asleep still. No one's productive, and you're up being productive. Yeah. Man, that's different. Like you hear the birds chirping. It's like the birds are up. Like I'm also up. Like because technically at 1 a.m. people be out at a bar. You know. Yeah, like, and you could be working. Yeah. Who the fuck is up at 5 a.m.? Productive people. Right. That's people who have to either like hustle, or, you know, like be up early for work or whatever. Like, I'm not saying I wake up at 5 a.m. I wake up early, but there's days where I wake up that early to go and get to a location to shoot, so there's no people bothering me. Yeah, no, there's something about like the morning too, like the weather-wise, like it's like crisp. It's like a nice, even if it's like cold or hot, like it's like it's always like a crisp morning. Yeah, it's like like fresh, like. And I don't really shoot at night either, so I don't. I mean, so you strictly shoot in the daytime? Or I'll take shoots at night, but like there's something I appreciate about like just sunlight. Daytime, it makes you feel good too. Like sunlight hitting your face, you feel very energized already. Yeah, well each like I bring that up because each like photographer and like videographer have like their own types of things. So for example, I just mentioned him. Mm-hmm. He does really well with like more like dark spaces, like in concerts, in backstage, like in apartments, like in like whatever. Like he does really well like dark settings. Which is good at talent, which is really like it's tough and it looks and like it reflects in his like on his page is like all dark images and all that, but like it's cool. You want to do like more stand out in like the lighting and all that like daytime, but that's you, which is also amazing. I'm huge on natural lighting, man. Yeah, and even with Steve is like I can't even put Steve like brightness, box, like in brightness and like daytime on steroids. It's like neon colors and even the way he dresses, like the way he wakes up. Like I used to think that man like used to take some acid or like Adderall or something, man. Because I'm like, yo, how is he? Wow. Yeah. Speaking of energy, like his energy is just amazing. Like I remember the first time I met him, even like him, like you know, because sometimes like when you do podcasts, like and you get guests who are more like a little more reserved. They may be very intelligent people, but they're more reserved. You kind of have to like. You have to be on that energy. You have to word it to where like you spark something that makes them wanna expand and tell more.
With Steve, it was like normal questions, and he would just like go kind of like you, for example. Like you're a great guest because
Thank you.
like
I appreciate that.
I said like like a regular question. You kind of like just keep on going and going and going and giving like good, but not like chatting, but like giving like very good input and very good stuff.
Thank you,
That's
man.
great content. That's great
I feel like
stuff.
I'm chatting a lot of times.
Yeah,
but it's good to hear.
Yeah, because even like big time celebrities like Billie Eilish, for example, she had like an interview with somebody, and it was like not like for me, it was like super cringy because she was just like she didn't want to be there, and like this is a very talented person who has a great mind, but she doesn't feel like executing it and sharing certain things, which I can understand. Everyone has their days, and I guess interviews could be a drag for a lot of people.
Celebrity too.
Yeah, but it's like if I'm an interviewer, I'm like, like why even bother? Like I'd rather just do like someone who's like less famous but like more passionate and make good content like that.
This is another reason why I'm like I said, I haven't really. This is my first one, and I don't really do interviews because, I mean, I want to as I go on now because I feel like I have more of a structured kind of plan and what I want to share with people, and I feel like I have a little bit more. I'm more in a space where I feel like I can share with people certain motivational things. Like I'm not on step one and I'm here saying, yo, work your ass off.
Right.
I can't say that. I'm working my ass off currently.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's like, I feel like certain things as you go, you can like, kind of toss people certain things.
Yeah.
Even a little knowledge, like tossing people, motivational words can help them throughout their